how do I even begin to sum up that game? What really can describe that first half of that game other than just the worst possible outcome you could possibly hope for? Welcome back to a day after the game before, and Tottenham lost 5-2 to Atletico Madrid, conceding 3 goals in the first 15 minutes. Keeper gets subbed off. The whole world is watching and laughing, as they always are with Tottenham. Like I said on my TikTok last night, we don't do things quietly. If we're going to implode, we're going to implode with a real boom. And, at least we're consistent in that fact. I mean, there's nowhere else to start other than Kinski, unfortunately. I'd love to sit here and join in on the, what are you doing, playing him, Champions League debut. I didn't want to ever see Vicario again. Do you know what I mean? So, while I'm growing very, very, very sceptical of Tudor and his methods, I can't fault starting him, unfortunately. I saw him and I went, right, good, thank God. And then he obviously proceeds to have the worst 20 minutes that any footballer I think is probably going to have for a very long time. And it's funny because my friend texted me saying, make or break for this keeper tonight. And I said the fucker will probably put it in his own net. And that was like 10 minutes before the game started. Because even as Tottenham fans, when things are going bad and a player's playing bad and you want them out of the team, the replacement is going to be just as bad, if not worse. Do you know what? Like, there's no way he was going to come in and have a blinder. There's no way the universe would look that favourably upon us, because that's just not how being a Tottenham fan works. And summed it up perfectly when he said, you think there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's actually an oncoming train. But yeah, I mean, obviously Kinski has cost us, right? There's no getting away from that. But on a human level, I just feel so bad for him. That walk off the pitch must have been the most painful thing he'll probably ever have to do in his life. And that isn't helped by the fact that Tudor, the manager who put him in place, the manager who selected him, didn't even have the nerve to look at him, pat him on the back, give him a chin up, nothing. And I find that quite frankly disgusting. Call me soft and, whatever. But you picked him. So that decision rests on your head at the end of the day. And to make him walk off the pitch and go straight down the tunnel and not even an acknowledgement is, it's disgusting. And rumour has it he didn't acknowledge a single one of the subs that came off, to the point that when Jed Spence got subbed off, he went and sat down and then ironically came back down, went to the manager and shook his hand. If that doesn't tell you how this current crop of players feels about this manager, I don't know what does. But unfortunately, I can't slate Jed Spence for that, because this manager is giving us absolutely nothing to work off. Now that this is a safe space and we're all friends, what was going on with that pitch, though? Do you know what I mean? First 15 minutes, 2 of our players have slipped, which has caused goals directly. Why are they not changing their boots? Why is someone not going down, giving them a chance to change their boots? I think they said in the 71st minute, 11 players have slipped. Don't get me wrong, 2 of them are probably Atletico Madrid players. But our players couldn't stay on their feet. How's Richarlison going to hold the ball up if he's on the floor every 4 seconds because his boots just aren't getting any traction with the earth? Not to be like Tim Forhatty, but for a team that are known as, the team of the dark arts of it, wouldn't surprise you if that was somehow planned. But again, it is what it is. You can't do too much about it. Would it change much? Probably not. But it is what it is. There's one thing I also need to highlight. Mickey van de Ven is a powder keg ready to explode at any point, because he was a very, very lucky boy to not be sent off. Sure, he got the ball, foot went over the ball, yada, yada, yada. We have seen that red card many times. And it just feels like at the moment, he is so fed up of this team. And he just wants out in every fathomable way possible. Because that challenge, wow. If that was the other way around, I'm fuming that's not given a red. These players at the moment, no one is taking leadership. And that's the real worrying thing. There's no real, fucking hell, lads, come on, let's do this. Everyone is already summer moves planned out. Do you know what I mean? They know they're not going to be here next year. Doesn't really matter. Which is such a shame for the fans that have given them nothing but love and praise for these last few years, especially last year when we won that Europa League. You had 200,000 fans on that high road, absolutely adoring you. And now the going gets tough, you're just, nah, it's what it is. I'm too good for this place. I'm too good for this club. And that's the thing that's really, really bugging me at the moment. Really bugging me. Once again, I preface this with, we're all friends, right? But it wasn't the worst I've seen us play this year. I'm sorry, it just wasn't. Yeah, we lost 5-2. 3 of them were slips, bite me. Do you know what I mean? Like, that wasn't the worst performance I've seen from us this season. We actually, we made some chances. And obviously, this is an obvious point. Richarlison puts that either side of the keeper as 4-2, and you're going, fucking hell. You know, could we? 5-2, I think, is too hard for us to come back from. But it just wasn't our worst performance this season. Again, the state of the goals and the mockery that is coming around us right now, this is going to fall on deaf ears. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you lost 5-2, cool, whatever. It just wasn't the worst performance. It wasn't. So I don't know what I take from that. I don't know what comes from that. But it just wasn't the worst performance. The bar's in hell when I say that, by the way. Like, I'm not saying we were prime Barcelona, but I'm saying as far as a very, very low bar that we've set this season, wasn't the worst. So there's some sort of hope from that, I think. Now on to Igor Tudor. He's got to go, really, isn't he? And I instantly hear you. Who'd you get in? Oh, who'd want to manage that team? Blah, 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 blah. The bloke is very, very quickly showing us he ain't got a clue. Do you know what I mean? It may even boil down to something as simple, and this might just be me. We're not a back 5 team. Tottenham are not a back 5 team. Tottenham are get as many attackers on the pitch as you can team. Yes, Chelsea won the league with a free back with Conte, yada, yada, yada. We're not that. Do you know what I mean? But a 3-back just always feels like you're more worried about the opposition than what you can do to them. Do you know what I mean? And Tudor, again, I thought his treatment of the players tonight was disgusting. Like, just wrong. In the 4 games he's had with us, what is there that is, giving anyone any hope? I don't think there is much. 4 losses. We've now lost 6 games in a row for the first time in our history. So even when you think we've been worse, we've never lost 6 in a row. And again, we've got a hell of a run-in coming up. And Tudor doesn't look like he's getting any sort of belief. Well, it doesn't look like he's instilling any belief in these players. The players don't really look like they know the system. This man-to-man press is just failing because I don't think everyone commits to it. And it speaks to the board and their decision-making. Because someone tweeted it last night, right? And bear with me here. When a club is buying a player, you look to see if they're going to fit the system, the formation, the way you want to play, right? But when doing a manager, we don't do the same. Because, again, a 3-back doesn't suit these players. And I know the manager comes above the players in terms of importance. But, you just surely someone on the board went, 3-back though. Do you know what I mean? But because he puts out fires and he had good results in other games, and fair enough. But it's just not happening here, is it? His press conferences are bizarre. He's starting to come out with weird analogies. Do you know what? He's similar to Thomas Frank. Because I think it was after the Palace game, he said, I've seen enough to know we're going in the right direction. What the fuck could you have seen? Do you know what I mean? Like Thomas Frank, we would have the most horrendous performance ever, and he'd go, we were good today. No, but begs the question again, who'd you come in? Who's going to stake their reputation on this group of players getting them out? Because I don't know. People actually want Harry Redknapp. I think the geezer's like 18 but retired like 13 years. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's more likely to go on I'm a Celeb than he is to come back to manage Tottenham. Every day letting Matt Wells go looks like a bigger mistake, because when you see his speeches for the Colorado Rapids, you go, fucking hell, I'm moved. I'd run for a brick wall for that bastard. But unfortunately, he's gone and he's making his own journey. But once again, another embarrassing loss, really. Another, bunch of embarrassing decisions by this board that ultimately the fans have to pay for. Because if we do go down, which is becoming more and more likely each day, none of these lot will be here for the repercussions. The fans are going to be the one that get bantered in every group chat possible, like I already am. I've got people coming out the woodwork that I haven't spoken to in weeks, months, years checking in on me. That's how bad this has got. So yeah, quick summary. Horrendous first half. Any players to pick out, really? Poirot had a decent game. I feel like Archie Gray never lets himself down massively. Solanke, that's it. Stop playing Kolo Muani. Got me back onto another point. Stop playing him. If you want to start two strikers, you do Solanke and Richarlison. Stop playing Kolo Muani. The bloke does not give a fuck. He doesn't. And I know Tudor and him were mates at Juventus and he got, a tune out of him. The bloke couldn't care less. Stop playing him, please, for the love of God. So yeah, where do we go from here? I don't know. Where's our next win coming from? I don't know. Will we stay up? Hat-trick? I don't know. But let me know your thoughts on the game. What do Tottenham do next? Can this board ever get a decision right? Do we sack him before Liverpool? We know Liverpool's going to be a thrashing anyway. So, do you know what I mean? Mix it up a bit. But, yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on last night's game. And, yeah, we'll be back after the Liverpool game.